So hello everyone, no matter where you are, welcome to the Ragic webinar. I'm the speaker, Fabio. As usual, if you're following the previous webinars, you probably heard me for probably the last 5 or 6 times. Well, today, the topic of this webinar will be talking about the basic database development, which is basically like all the most basic concepts, the most basic steps, and the most basic actions of building a Ragic database. And for the moment, let's just wait for another few minutes to let more people join. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section, either on the right of your screen if you're using a browser, or under like the live stream if you're watching this from a tablet or from a phone. Feel free to ask right now, or feel free to ask during the webinar session, and I'll answer it either orally here, or if possible, I'll provide you guys with basically I'll build a prototype or a demonstration using the Ragic database. Also, for your information, in our YouTube channel, we've also uploaded quite a few tutorial videos about some of the basics of Ragic, such as creating new sheets or some other key functions. Feel free to check them out. They're brand new. There's a different concept to it, and yes, they could be very educational if you are just starting your Ragic database. And all right, it's 2 minutes past the original scheduled start time, so I guess this is a good time to start the webinar right now. So just since I'll be going through the basics today, the first and foremost, the general concept of Ragic, well, basically Ragic is just like managing data on your Excel sheets, because your data is organized in different sheets and it's presented in like a spreadsheet format in different cells. But because there's more functions to it and there's a slight different logic in Ragic, your data can be organized in a better manner. And also with some of the Ragic tools, there's more functions to it, such as creating relationships with each other, setting access rights, and even showing one set of data in different ways if you would like to. And in Ragic, regarding access rights, if you are the main guy who's creating the database, or you're basically the creator or the sheet designer of the database, this means that you're the sysadmin of the database. You basically have the highest access rights. You can basically do anything in your database, decide how your users want users to manage data, how you want them to basically add records or process their data in, and there's a lot of different formats and settings within your sheets. So let's just get things started of showing you how you should design and manage your sheets in Ragic. So this is a completely blank database. I have no data in this, but you can add a new sheet right here, or you can go to the plus sign, and then it will go to this window showing to you to add a new sheet. But first and foremost, let's add a new tab first. In Ragic, your sheets will be organized under different tabs. So adding a tab right here, just like how you may add a tab in such as your browser, your Google Chrome, your Firefox, just click on the plus sign. I'm going to call this webinar. And click save. Now you have a new tab right here. It also appears right on top right here. Now let's design a new sheet. Today, basically the sheets I'm going to design is relating to a membership registration and an events registration form. So first things first, we need to design a sheet to store our members' data. So I'm going to call this members. And after it's done, just simply click on create. Now you'll be guided to this blank sheet. Now, as you can see, you'll see like a spreadsheet style right here, and this is where you can add your fields. This looks like what you see in Excel, but there's quite a few differences to it. You'll see as I add more functions, add more fields to it. And on the right here, it gives you some of the quick templates. Basically, it applies onto your empty sheets, and it has those pre-designed fields that you can use. But for example, we're just going to click on a purchase order. Now it shows like all the related fields of a purchase order, but I would like to do it from scratch. So I'll go to the empty one, and I'm just going to close this quick template. So basically a membership registration form. Let's add the fields right now. So the first field I'm just gonna add fields. It's simply done by just typing in the cells in your design mode. Name, ID, number. I'm just gonna go with two fields to tell you about the field first. In Ragic, where you add a field, you see that there are one field in basically like a blank spot. That is the place for your users to fill in their data, which we call the field value area. And what you've just typed here is called the field headers, which is the name of the fields. Now let me just add more fields for now. Phone, email, plan, gender. As you can see on the field value area for your users to enter data, this shows you what field type it is basically applied. So according to your field headers, what the field headers you've entered, the system can guess what's the field type it is, but you can always change it manually and even change the formatting of the field type. For example, let's go to the phone field. Yes, it automatically guesses the phone field, but you can also change the format of this phone number. So, for example, if you're in a country that in this format, you can always add a dash in between. So your users will then enter the format in 123-456-7890 in this format. And regarding the ID number field, I would not like to use it as a free text field, which is basically enter anything when you type in. What I would like to use is using a special field called the auto generate field. Using the auto generate field, it generates a value via a numerical sequence that you've set up, and you can change the formatting here. Under here, it shows like the formatting. You can just simply use numbers or adding some letters or values for the format, or even add dates inside. There are many values you can choose from. I'm going to manually import ID dash number. So this ID field, number field, will be generated in ID dash 00001, 0002, etc. Phone, email, plan, I would like this to be a selection field. So what is a selection field? Is basically, it's right here. Your users would have drop down menu of your selections. So for example, if it's plan, I would I'm going to name it as silver, gold, and platinum. And I have a selection field too. An address, the address field, the gender field looks fine. One thing I would like to do the address field is to make this field have a longer area for users to type in. So I can go to styles. Not styles, I'm sorry. You can just be done in the column span merge cells. I would like to be merge it to 4. Now I have a long area to type in your address field. Let's go to basically like the form page, which is for your users to enter data, and see what the sheet looks like right now. Exit. Now after you've saved it, you can simply create a new one. Click on new. As you can see, the auto generate field automatically populates basically like a value, auto generated value here. So all I need to do is to, as a user, I just need to enter the data. So I'm gonna name John Carter, phone, random, email. Now that I have the selection field right here, silver, gold, platinum, the one I've just designed. I forgot to add the selections of genders. I'll go back to it right now. After I've saving this entry, address 123 Main Street. This is just a random address I thought of. Now, what's good with Ragic is that unlike other database software packages where it might be very inflexible for your design, in Ragic, when you see something that is not correct, for example, I forgot to add the selections in the gender, as a sysadmin, you can just simply go to change design, click in it, and we're back to this familiar page with all your the design of your data. So I go gender, male. So this is how easy to make a design change in Ragic. And it's not just about changing for updating your small mistakes. You can simply just move your fields anywhere if you would like, and they can be applied after you've saved this sheet. You can drag it anywhere. I would still like to have it on the left side. That might be easier for your users to enter data. And changing the styles, you can change the label styles, changing the fonts, changing the background colors, the font colors, and a lot of other actions you can do. Now for this, since talking about members, I would like to show you what's a subtable, and I'm going to add basically a subtable that will list the emergency contact information of probably like the members' relatives or their selected people that they trust. So what is a subtable? Let me design one right here real quick. So as you can see in the bottom right here, I've created a subtable that has arranged my fields horizontally rather than this vertically right here. Well, basically, subtables are for one-to-many relationships. So in this case, a member may have 2 or more emergency contacts. For in those situations, that will be organized in subtables. Or in other scenarios, all the students of a selected class or a session, all the products bought in an order or in a delivery, or even all the game results of a specific team. That should be organized in a subtable. And now I have a subtable right here. It will be arranged. The fields will be arranged horizontally, and your data will be populated vertically. So let's see how the subtable works in basically in the form page. So now I can select the gender, name, Stephen Carter, email. So after entering data, now you can see that I have the main information up here and the subtable information down here for emergency contact. Now you may ask, how are you going to show that? What are these fields for? Now probably you would like a title or a header for these. I would say these field sets, if you would like to call it. Like this is a set of fields for general information. This is a set of fields for emergency contact information. One thing that comes in handy is called a description field in Ragic. So a description field is a static, basically the field that allows you to add static text. So let's basically just drag this here and add components. Drag this, shows you some text to help users use the database. Now basically I'm just going to change the description content. General information. I say font size, since it's more like a title, I can change it to a bigger font. Centralize this, and even change the font color to red. Oops. Down here, I will also like another description field called emergency contact information. Same thing. Font family. Let's make this a little different. There's a cursive font. Enlarge the column span. Centralize this. Change the background color. Let's make this pink. And now you have the description fields for your field headers. That's it. Let's see how it looks on a form page. So basically that's how it looks in your Ragic form page. Of course, this is not the best. This is not the design that you may wish to use. Basically, you can always change the code, change the design to make it fit your needs. Now, this is called the form page. What you may ask is, how can you, like if you have added 10 or 20 pieces of data, how can you view them basically on one screen? Now, for this, in Ragic, there's a form page, which is where we are right now, and there's a listing page, which lists all the information of all records, but only your selected information. To go to the listing page, just simply click on here to go back to listing. Now you'll see like a general information of all your records here. This is called the listing page. So if you have like 10 or 20 records, it will be populated down here in a whole list, but only the selected fields. So right now, it will only show the selected independent fields, and I can change the design of the listing page as well. So let's go to change design. If I do not want to show all the fields, show all the fields. I probably just want to show the name, ID number, and the plan. I can simply simply deselect the fields to be displayed on here, or there's another way is to just simply press the delete button. For this, I just want to display 3 fields, and I want to make them have a bigger space for the data display. I'm sure I can drag this to change the size of the fields I would like. But keep in mind that because it only shows one-to-one data on the listing page, basically subtable data will not be displayed on the listing page unless you use another function to make it basically as a independent field on your form page. So let's save this for now, and let's see how it looks like on our listing page. So as you can see now, I only have 3 fields. And for the meantime, let's add a few more entries. So I've just added 3 entries. And now one thing that you'll probably like to know is how Ragic can be integrated with Excel. As you may know, if you have saw that on our related pages, Ragic can work closely with your Excel sheets because, well, basically the data is presented in a more of a spreadsheet format. Now I'm going to show you how to import data and export data from Ragic or to Ragic, from Excel to Excel. So when you go to Tools right here on the top, click on the Tools. There are quite a few export options and import options. I'm going to do an export first. I can download it as an Excel or text, download it as a PDF, and quite a few more. Now I'm going to download it as Excel first. So download configuration, simply select. You can select all fields or fields on the listing page or customize it, and how many entries you would like to have. So I'm going to click on download. Now it automatically downloads a file, and let's open this. I need to apply a change on my OBS first. Just a moment, please. So as you can see right here, let me enlarge this real quick. So as you can see right here, this is just the data I've downloaded from Excel. These are, I mean, this is just, I'm not to download it to Excel from my Ragic database. It shows exactly how my data is presented, and it shows all the fields, all the fields correctly. Now, on the other hand, I can also import data from Excel to Ragic. And I need to change, let me show you this real quick. I need to change the settings first. So I need, so I'm going to basically create the data that will be imported back to Ragic, and it will be shown on this. So in Ragic, if you would like to import data from Excel to Ragic, the first things you would need to do is to align your field headers, or it doesn't have to be exactly the name as you have on Ragic, but you need basically like a header, and it needs to be completely horizontal neck by each other, so the system can determine which fields, basically which columns from Excel to be matched to Ragic. So I'm going to create a few names right here, and enter a few emails and the plan and the gender. So name. Andrew Coleman. So now let me enlarge this for you guys to see clearer. This is basically what I will be importing back to Ragic. It was supposedly to import the name, email, plan, and gender, and it will create 4 entries or 4 records onto Ragic. Let's see how this works. Save this, and let's go back to Ragic and see how you import this. Go back to Ragic. How do you import an Excel file? So you go to Tools, select to import data from file, choose file, and now this is called the book 1. I didn't name it, so click on Upload, choose the worksheet. I only have 1 sheet, so I don't really need to choose anything. Okay, name, email, plan, and gender. If you have the columns name on Excel that is identical or close to the name on Ragic, it will automatically match it. But if you have different names, it's okay, since you can still basically enter. Basically, I'm not enter, but like change it from the drop down. Like I can change the different field. And basically just select the fields you would like to use, and I click on next. For this, there are 3 different options. Create new record. So even if there are duplicates, it will still create a new record. It will still need to create a new record anytime. So you may have, for one person, you may have quite a lot of data. On the other hand, you can select a renew data, which means that if you're importing that has existing data on Ragic with the same key value, well, basically we'll update it. But if it doesn't find the record, then it will create a new one. Update create without creating new data. Now, if it finds a record in Ragic, and it will update it, but if not, it will not do anything. There are many advanced settings that you can apply, such as fill in default values, validation check, etc., etc. Now, there's always more advanced settings you can use. Anyways, just click on next, and now click on import your data. And after importing complete, you have an opportunity to revert this import. But if you believe that you might have done something wrong and you want to do it again, well, basically you can click that, but I'm not. So now it imports data to your Ragic database, and then let's just simply click on. Basically, now imports data to your Ragic database, which you can simply enter your data in. Now make sure that you have like the import values of selection fields entered correctly. For example, this is a counter example. Instead of male, female, I've entered just M. Now, but I can still change it. I can still change it anyway. So basically, just make sure that you enter it correctly. So in case you may need to change it in the future. And now Marcon, you just asked, does each spreadsheet always correspond to a tab? Would you mind elaborating on what you mean by each spreadsheet correspond to a tab, like which tab or which sheet on Ragic, or what do you mean by a spreadsheet correspond to a tab? Because in the import function with Ragic is that I would say each column corresponds to a field. I think that's the best way to describe it. And just for your information, since the ID number field is automatically populated, even if you import data from Excel to Ragic, if you import data, it will automatically populate its correct value. Then now I can just simply go through all the records and make sure that everything is in the correct format. For example, now I've also just created a new plan right here. As a sysadmin, you still have the flexibility to change your entries no matter how you like. And make sure that all the selections are correct, all the field types are correct, and when you find that everything it's correct, now basically the sheet is good to go. I'm going to create another sheet called the events, and this will be organized under the webinar tab. So under the tab, I add a new sheet, events. I'm gonna add 3 fields. I'm just gonna add 3 fields for, I would say, to make it this faster, make it easier for guys to understand. Just 3 fields: event ID, event name, and event description. Event ID, again, auto generate field. I think that's the best field to basically make them as unique values. Unique values are very important when you're building relationships between different sheets, and you'll see that in the next few minutes. Since I'll be creating a new sheet and I'll be talking about link and load. Auto generate field. Event name. Event description. And one thing special about free text field, if you make this higher or make this longer, you can basically enter the value of the value of this field as a paragraph text. So I can just write a small paragraph text inside there. Okay, 3 events. Chess competition. I'll be answering the questions after I create a few events right here. To event name. I'm now just created 3 events, which I can later do it as a link and load to another sheet. And regarding the tab next to the start tab, well, this is regarding the tabs, this is basically where you organize your sheets. Like for my under the webinar tab, I have two sheets. So basically, if you're trying to import data, you will need to be on the sheet that you are trying to import data to. For example, if I'm just in the start page or just on the events sheet, I would need to move to the members sheet to import data to the members sheet. So regarding the import function, if you open the updated data in a new browser tab, is a revert function still available in the original browser tab, or is the data committed? There's another place where you can revert data in, which is in recent changes. Let me show it real quick right here. It's under account setup, and you'll find it in recent changes. So as you can see, I've just on this record, I'm not sure if you could see it really clearly. Let me enlarge this. So in this, you can see that I've just imported data on members, which means the data was imported by me. On the members sheet, I can click on this backward arrow, which means revert import. That is the only chance you can revert your import. But if that sheet is modified, or you modified quite a bit, or you may have done other imports, you might not see the option to revert your import. Does Ragic have the capacity to do if/then, like if plan silver, then allow event 2, 3, 4? Not one. Yes, it does allow if you have set your formulas correctly. Talking about formulas, basically, I wasn't prepared to talk about formulas today, since that was not part of my webinar plan. I would like to talk more about it next time. But regarding formulas, we allow the if formula, so you can basically populate values based on the different conditions that you would like to use. How do I go to account setup again? Well, go to under the start tab, account setup. It's right here. So you can under the start tab, you can install templates, which is I would say a set of sheets that are already pre-designed for you. learn Ragic? Well, basically go through the there are quite a few tools that helps you start understanding your Ragic faster, and account setup, which is what you just mentioned. All right, now let's go back to my original plan. Now I'm going to go back to the third sheet, which I'll show you the most important part of Ragic, which is called the link and load. Probably one of my favorite functions, since this is, I would say, building relationships between different sheets is very important in Ragic. Now this sheet, I'm just going to call it registration. Now, registration ID, I'm going to create, if you have like a sheet that needs to be determined individually, and for the case of future building relationships, or basically having a unique value, like you have your unique member ID, or even like a unique ID for a country. Always create a field, an auto-generated field, so you don't have to worry about. You don't really have to worry about the building relationships or those unique issues. Now I just want to change the formatting. I'm just gonna r-id. Actually, I should make just rid dash and three numbers. Oh, I can't save it right now. I have one field. Now, what is link and load? Basically, let me just show you real quick. I think it's easier to just simply by showing rather than telling. Now, I can select a link to a sheet. Select a linked field, which is basically the one you select, the value you select, and the loaded field is to populate other related information from that sheet regarding the record that you selected. So how it determines the record that I selected is by this linked field called the ID number from the members sheet, and I can select to load all the other related information. Name, phone, email, enter. Now that's one way of creating a link and load relationship. If you do not have, you can simply add the fields, and then the naming of the fields will be basically determined by what you have named it before on your linked source sheet. Exit link manager. I'm going to click on save first and then show you how link and load works. And of course, this is not completed. So registration ID number. Now, ID number is a linked field, which is I select a record from the members sheet. So I'm just randomly click on a member here. Now it automatically populates the related information from the member sheet that I've selected. I'm just gonna click on save for this right now. And for the same thing, I can also do it for the events. The link to the event selected. Let me just rearrange those fields to make it the way I would look like. Again, just for your information, if you are the sysadmin of your sheets, make sure that, because for most cases, you're not the only one that will be processing the data. So make sure to make it in some ways look logical, make it look logical at least, so your users can process data easily. So sometimes I would say that even using the description fields to guide as directions of how your users can enter your data is important. I think I've mentioned in my last webinar called database design fundamentals, or might be in another previous webinar. But feel free to check them out if you would like to know about the different aspects of Ragic. Let me just add a insert row and add a description field. Merge it to 5. Centralize this. Member information. Maybe I shouldn't save that too early. I may have saved that too early, but it doesn't really matter. So change the design whenever I like. Again, and now event information will be another set of link and load that I would like to use. Since I'm on the description field right now, let me create this real fast. Let me just start with the description field. Event ID. Event name. Oops, these are, my bad, these are all description fields right now. I need to change the component. Change it as a free text field. Whoops. And again, now I've created these fields in advance, but I can still do link and load. Again, go to link and load, go to the events sheet, and I can select to link and load to existing fields that I've just created. And now this is another set of link and load. This is different from the one I've just linked to members information. And let's see how this works. So member information, I've completed the link. And I can select the events. And now basically like in this registration form, all I would need to do is to have a registration ID, which is automatically populated. Select my user's ID number, populate all his or her related information, and select the information that this member would like to participate in. All can be done by selected, and you don't need to basically enter the data manually. Basically entering the data manually in Excel, the largest limitation and largest disadvantage is that there are many errors, especially when you're copying and pasting from one another. You might copy and paste to the wrong cell, and the worst case is if they look similar, like if you copy like a name, the member's name, but the member's name you copy it to like the emergency contact's name. In format they look similar, but they're not correct. They're not in the correct place, but the problem is that because they look similar, you'll never find the error. Now with link and load, at least everything is done automatically by the system, by the workflow, according to basically the value you've selected. First of all, the efficiency gets higher, and second of all, the level of correctness will also enhance. Let me just create a few more registrations first. Just let me change this. I need to add quite a few other entries to show you another function called the Reference Subtables, which is also related to link and load. And again, I'm just like on the listing page now, it shows you all the list of all the data. And so what does the reference subtable does? Well, basically, if, for example, it shows all the related entries this a specific record has been selected via link and load. So if I go to the members page, and I want to show related members registration, relate the registrations the member has registered, the events, and all the related information, I can create a reference subtable for it. Go to Form Tools, showing references from existing sheets. I'm going to link to sheet registration. And I'll create a link subtable, which you can drag and drop to the place you would like to be displayed on your database, on your sheet. And it shows you basically all it. You can simply select the fields that you would like to display. I would just like to display the registration ID and the event and the event information. And always remember to click on Insert Subtable, and that populates a reference subtable which is synchronized with your registration sheet. Click on Save. And Anna didn't make any registrations. I think I made quite a few for Annie Sterling. So right here, down here, all her registrations are populated in the reference subtable. And this also goes for events as well. I can also, for each event, because the event is also selected via link and load, I can see all the information of the registrations. And for this case, I will be doing a reference subtable to see which members have selected specific events. Again, show references from existing sheets. Registration. Link subtable. Registration ID, and then all the, maybe I just want to show the ID number and basically not the gender, maybe not the gender and not the address. Insert subtable. Again, the subtable populated down here. Save. So mountain trip, only Annie Sterling selected it. Yoga class, 3 people have selected this. Chess competition, there are also 3 registrations. If you make an edit right here on the reference subtable here, it will also be automatically populated on the registration, which is the parent sheet that is referenced, and vice versa. Even if you make an edit on the registration sheet, it will also be reflected in the reference subtables because they are synchronized. This comes in handy if you basically for data organization purposes. And basically if you will, sometimes with different referencing, you can also apply different functions to it. So if I add such as if I added hours field about the, this just when you hover through, it just shows you a general information on the right side. So basically, if I add an hours field, like on the left of this, basically on the subtable, I can also let's just add it. This might be cool. Hours process data. Now I just added a subtable field next to this reference subtable. You can also build this relationship back to the registration sheet. Click on Save, and I would like this to be a numeric field. 2, 3, 2. Now, if you want to add this hours participated field back to the registration sheet, this is also doable. Change design. Form tools, you can select the link fields from parent sheet, events, and now you can select the drag and drop the fields that are not on this sheet but is on the parent sheet. So hours participated, I would like to drag and drop this to here. The difference between as you can see, it was circled in red and circled in blue. The red circle means that it is a subtable field on its parent sheet. So these two fields are participated are always synchronized. And now I can just add any values in. Like not any values, of course, but basically like the correct values. But if you're manually entering it, then it could be any value you would like to use. Hours participated too. I think that's all. And let's go back to the member sheet. Since that is a field, independent field on the members on the registration sheet, I can also add this additionally to my reference subtable on the members sheet. So event description, I would like to add a total participate hours here. Change design, form tools, show reference from existing sheets. Click on this and add it back in. And then click update subtable. And now I have the hours here. It will be presented down here. Let's see it right now. So you can see the hours participated on the reference subtable. And now finally, if you want to, you can apply formulas to do calculations on this sheet. In this case, it's for each member. I'm just going to do a simple calculation for subtables here, which is to total up all the total hours participated of all events. For your case, if you're doing a product, like a product order or sales order, you may need to total up basically find the grand total of everything. So of course, formulas are easily applied and easily set up in Ragic. Simply, first of all, you need to create a new field to calculate all your subtable records. Just for your information, for a new calculation on any sheet, the easiest way is just to create a new field and add the formulas in. So I've now created a new field, total hours participated, formula. In Ragic, it's different to Excel, where you need to start. Basically in Ragic, you don't need to start with an equal sign. Just simply select the field that you would like to enter. So if I just want to total this field, hours participated, all I need to do is just enter E20 in the formulas. It will reference all the total of the subtable entries in E20. Click on save. And one thing that I would like to do in case is just to just click on the apply all formulas on save records. So basically, by doing this, it basically recalculates all the records on your sheet. And now I have the total hours. 1 plus 3 equals 4. This is how the formulas work. And we do support quite a wide variety of different formulas, such as conditional formulas, which can be used in subtables or independent fields, and all the sum of all subtable records. You can also link text. For more information, you can go to our documents page, and go find the list of formulas. Or if you have any questions, just feel free to contact us. And even if you want to ask for design suggestions or formula support, feel free to do so. And last thing for today is I would like to go through a bit about your personal settings. Unlike the database accounts setup, personal settings is referring to each of your accounts. So my account, even if I have 10 users in the database, user 1's personal settings can be personalized for just himself. User 2 can be personalized just for himself or herself as well. So hover to the name page on near the top right corner of your screen. You'll see the account for this database, your information, your personal, which is I would like to talk about right here, and switch accounts, which is switching the database accounts. Go to personal settings, click on it. It shows you a window. It shows you like a window of your personal profile name. You can change the name, change the password, upload a picture, add a signature, add a two-step authentication, which is basically it makes your personal account more secure. So when you log in, other than just typing your password, the password and your account, you may need another authentication from your email, from your phone number, from SMS, etc. Preferences, basically showing like the fly-ins when hovering or clicking on link fields. As you may have just remembered from a few minutes ago, the fly-in that just popped out when I hovered to, I think it was a member linked field, and just all the basically your personal preferences, and also the preferences of your notifications. I mean, just like which sort of data you would like to be notified about, and email or push notification or web notification. Basically, this is where you set it up. Most of them are by default, and personally, I think that the by default is the best for every user. But every user may have different needs. Some might not want their email to be flooded with a lot of notification emails when they have a very comprehensive database. Well, you can turn that off if you would like to. And can you schedule email reminders sent to people? This is a question asked by Mayo Mart. And just thanks for the answer from Noah Garrett. Yeah, reminders are easy. Well, actually, I could show you the reminders real quick right here. Let's go to, I'm just going to use a registration. Reminders are organized in the date fields. By a date, I would say the date field is probably the best, the one thing that I would need. So if I have a date field right here, let's see, date. I'm going to click on save first. Go to form settings, and you'll see a reminder up here. You can remind a selected email or email field, probably like an email field. An email field would be the best case if you have a legit email, and so you can set up to be 0 days or any number of days before the date field, which is the date value on the date field. So, for example, if I set this as 2 days before date, and on the date field I have the value saying it's October 31st, 2020, the email will be automatically sent on October 29th to your selected recipient. This is how the reminders work in Ragic. And you can also customize your reminder email. Oh, I didn't add a reminder yet, actually. And customize, select, customize reminder email. You can customize the contents, customize the subjects, and this will be the automated emails sent to your recipient. And yes, they can be scheduled on on the day you wish it to be. And I guess that's about it for today. Going through the basics. Going through the basics and stuff, and feel free to ask any questions if you guys would like to right here, or you can just always click on the need help button to find us, find Ragic support, and we'll help you with your database. And making it reoccurring, well, this date field can be a reoccurring date. Let me go. This date field can be modified into a reoccurring date field, and it will be sent on that specific date. I'll be here for another few more minutes if you guys have any other questions, and just feel free to shoot in your questions right here, and I'll see if I can answer it. Or if it's a little bit complex or more about like the issues with your database, or it's more of like your personalized database centric question, I would say the best way to contact us is always by clicking on the need help button in the top right corner and submit a support ticket. Click on support ticket, enter your subject, enter your details, and click on this, submit, and grant Ragic support to access your account. Or just for the user manual March, wait, I'll get to you in a second. Just let me check. I'll get to you in a second about the recurrent date. So as you can see right here, you can select a field type called a recurring date field. It can be yearly, monthly, and weekly, and this will be done on the selected date that is recurring. And then you can apply your reminders to this recurring date if you have set this field type first. So it will be based on the field type that you have selected. So, let me just generalize this a bit. I've showed about how the reminders work. It will be referring to a date field. But you can make this date field, rather than just a normal date field, it can be a recurring date, and the reminder can be applied on this referring to this recurring date field. And you can change the cycle as yearly, monthly, and weekly. That was on the basic tab. I'm not sure what you mean by basic tab, but that is basically how you would set your reminders. That will be applied to a recurring date field. All right, no problem. And yeah, I'll be around for another few more minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to tell me. And yeah, I'll help you guys out if I can, or you may need to click on the need help button, which you'll still receive support most likely from me. All right, guess it's time to end this webinar right now. Just feel free to click on the need help button to ask us for support if you have any questions regarding the use or the design of your database. And yes, we'll see you in about a month's time. Thank you very much for participating today. Thanks. Goodbye.